Hey Sylvain, this is Jasmine here doing a quick review for you. I saw your post about materials and I think it's great that you took note that you didn't watch the materials course and then you watched it and then you went back to do things that maybe you did wrong. I hate to say wrong because, everyone does things a different way, but I think it's great that you've been backtracking and just thinking of different ways to do it and in a more proper way. So I'm just taking a look at your post here, and I see you're saying that the materials are not finished yet and there's no subsurface scattering on the skin and the texturing and so forth. Let me look. And then for the gun, let's go to your gun since you're talking about it. One, I love that you went through and did, kind of the analysis of the different materials. I hope you learned a lot from doing that. I always find it really interesting when you break it down. Overall, it does seem, I'll take a quick look at your kind of how you broke it down, but it looks pretty much on point. I will take a look. Yep. And it's just so important to note, especially adding things like this, the subtle bump and the scratches will really make your materials feel that much more realistic. So transparency, is that transparent? Not 100% transparent. Okay. Oh, I see. Is it like a clear plastic? Oh, yes. So I gotcha. It's almost like a frosty. So yeah, overall that looks good. I think what you're referring to, wait, let me just go back here, is the pattern you were mentioning. I'm just looking at your notes at the same time that you plan on getting rid. Sorry, let me go back. Oh, gotcha. I was on the right frame. You were getting rid of this pattern here, and I completely agree with you. It is very distracting, and I don't know, is that the pattern or is it actually getting specular hits here? But regardless, you're right. I think you should definitely make it more, especially from far away, you wouldn't see those kind of contrast to the pattern here. And my eye is going towards her. And you were saying that you want to have a specular highlight run along the gun barrel of this frame. So around here. And that would be nice to kind of highlight it. So kind of having other parts kind of fall a little darker with a nice kind of highlight will kind of definitely spark it up. So I can't wait to see that. For the hair, you mentioned to go sharp, the sharp reflection of Maggie or the rougher reflection of Mikey. In my opinion, I would say Mikey's is where I'd aim to more, just because what I'm feeling with Maggie is, one, it's getting really hot, like right here, it's going almost to white, and also it feels very plasticky and hard, and it's also distracting my eye. As I said, instead of maybe focusing on her face, I'm kind of going up here, and it's looking not super organic. So I would say I'd go more towards the kind of the rougher specularity. If you want to play with Maggie being a little bit more sharp, I think I would tighten the specs on this because it's a little broad still here. If you find reference, now I'm looking at let's look at your style frame. You got cut off a little in this video, but I mean, as you can see, even these styles in their style frame, it's not like the super hot reflection. I mean, specular. It's more just kind of highlights, and it's very diffuse. You can even have that in your style frame. So I would definitely go more towards diffuse. And then what else did you say in Mikey's style guide? you couldn't find more reference. Well, I mean, yeah, you can definitely keep, if he's wearing the jeans and whatnot, you can definitely keep that being the same. One thing I will say as you go through this, one, I think these characters are really, really adorable. The one thing, especially looking at this frame, I know you haven't gotten the subsurface scattering in there, and it will help once you get in there, but they're looking a little dead. Not I'm not feeling the warmth in their skin, so that's definitely something you want to keep an eye on. Also, another thing I will say as I'm looking through this is that, what did I do? Oh yeah, the eyes, especially things like this double like eye ding reflection going on. I'm seeing 3, I think. You definitely want to minimize that and simplify it for your final look. And you want to avoid having these reflections right in the pupil. So if you look at like best practices of eye dings and highlights, it's usually around probably like 2 o'clock or around like 10 o'clock on the eye. And it's usually around the iris and doesn't intersect with the pupil. So that's also something you want to look out for. Other than that, I mean, I think they're looking great. I'm feeling the warmth more in the style guide frames, like right here. I think she looks great here. So let's get that going in the actual render. And I think you said you're going to be working, on the textures and subsurface scattering. Definitely take a look at that in the coursework and let me know if you have any questions. So yeah, it's looking great. And like, again, I think it's awesome that you're going back and learning that much more to improve this work that you're working on Renee Flores's scene. So with that, I can't wait to see the updates. Talk to you soon. Bye. Happy lighting.